Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. I'm working out some fighting words. Before we go any further, please like and subscribe to the video. In this video, I wanted to talk about Lomachenko and his comeback fight since his loss to Teofimo Lopez. I didn't really want to focus so much on the fight because it was honestly a classic Lomachenko dominant performance. Shout out to Nakatani, but you know, you couldn't get the job done, and Loma kind of had his way with him. He was a much bigger guy, and Loma even put him down. So, like I said, it was a classic Lomachenko setting traps, angles, all over the place, tons of punches, you know, and it was way too much for Nakatani. He just didn't know what to defend, what to attack, where to attack, when to back off, when to press forward. He just seemed a little lost in there. You know, as we always say, there's levels to this, and Lomachenko is at that very high top level. Like I said, I didn't necessarily really want to go that much over the fight because he was so dominant. What I wanted to talk about was what happened after the fight. And what happened after the fight was Bob Arum the promoter for Lomachenko, came over and he was like, that was a great performance, and yada, yada, yada. Then they started talking about Teofimo Lopez. And then Teofimo's father, Sr., came over, and he's like, hey, maybe we can make this happen. That was a really good performance. And I'm thinking to myself, I like how you guys are just overlooking the fact that George Kambosos is like there, like just lingering, like, you know. So if you're not informed, Teofimo Lopez got a little ill, so they had to postpone the fight. However, they're just talking like, you know, once he gets better and once he gets back, you know, in training shape and all that, we'll be talking about Lomachenko. No, we won't. We'll be talking about George Kambosos. That's what we'll be talking about. And this video really, I don't know what to say, like how they're just overlooking this man. Quite frankly, like I said, this is a Lomachenko video, so I want to give him his proper respect. But they are clearly overlooking George Kambosos. But back to Lomachenko. If the Lomachenko that fought last night, Saturday night, were to fight Teofimo Lopez, I would definitely say that he wins. I mean, he had his surgery, and he looked great. I mean, he looked like the old Lomachenko. He was bouncing all over the place, and a lot of punches, and honestly, because it's funny when everybody's talking about the Teofimo versus Lomachenko, the fight. They talk like he beat Loma up, and he didn't beat him up. Do you know what when you see a guy beat another guy up, we're talking like Floyd Mayweather when he fought Arturo Gatti. That was a man just getting brutalized for like 6-7 rounds. That's what that was. Teofimo versus Loma was not that. He had a few spots where like he hit him with some good shots. You know, he maybe buckled his knees a little something, but like, did he beat him up? I think we're going above and beyond and saying he beat him up. He did not beat him up. He won by points, and it was tough for him as well. It was a tough fight for Loma, but it was also tough for Teofimo Lopez. And it's amazing how that keeps getting overlooked, like, oh, he just ran through Lomachenko. You did not run through him. You beat him by, if I'm being generous, you beat him by 3 rounds. Maybe 2? I would definitely say the defining rounds are like the last 2 rounds, if I'm being generous. But to say that you beat him up, you didn't beat him up. Like he wasn't some weak, defeated, poor puppy dog when he walked out of the ring. As a matter of fact, he thought he won. Like, so you didn't beat him up. When you beat somebody up, they know they lost. They not only look like they lost, but they feel like losers when you beat someone up. He wasn't beat up. And after the performance I just saw with a much bigger guy in Nakayami, I hope I'm saying his name right. Forgive me if I'm not. But he beat up a much bigger guy with relative ease and put him down which was very impressive. He didn't just put on a show, he ended the night. That's impressive. That's very impressive. And you got to think, listen, so much has been said between the camps and all this and all that, but we got to see how Teofimo comes back. Like I said, he was ill. He was ill to the point where he had to pull out of a fight. We have to see at how he looks and how he feels when he comes back, moving forward. Because like I said, he still has George Kambosos in his way. So, and that's a whole nother animal. And I cannot wait to do that fight breakdown. That is a whole nother animal. And I think people do not give him the respect he deserves. And I can't wait for that fight breakdown. I just need to know when the date is. I don't want to give it to you too early. Doesn't make any sense. But Loma looked good. He looked sharp. He looked like dialed in, like to everything. Like you always want to make a statement. It's clear you want to make a statement. I mean, especially as a prize fighter, you want to make a statement. But in a comeback fight, you want to make the statement of statements. The same way Tank made the statement, fighting at 140 and finishing Barrios, Loma made a statement. I'm fighting a much bigger guy. This is my comeback fight. I was not only dominant during the entire fight, but I put him down. I finished the fight. That's impressive. That's impressive. That's what you want to do. If you want to ring bells, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. It wasn't luck, it was skill. That's how you do it. And he closed the show out. That's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? Lopez Sr. was right. It was impressive. Like, you got to give the man his respect. He came back, he did what he had to do. And he looked so good that, the whole argument that he needed surgery in his arm and everything like that, maybe he did for the Lopez fight. Maybe he did, because he's only older now, and he looked really good. He looked vintage Lomachenko. So I'm excited for that. I mean, I'm excited for a rematch. Quite frankly, I think the rematch should have been immediate, but you know how boxing is. That's all I got to say about that. It should have been immediate. It shouldn't have been a hold up. It shouldn't have been anything in the interim or anything like that. It should have been immediate. Unfortunately, like I said, things are the way they are. But I'm happy that at least the discussion has been put in the air. So, is it on paper? No, it's not on paper. But it's verbal, and this is a gentleman's sport. So you said it, so now we're gonna hold you to it. That kind of a thing. But again, George Kambosos, okay, over here. So anything can change, and it may not be Lopez fighting Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? So like anything can change at any given moment. We've learned that time and time again. This is boxing. It only takes one punch. But please, you tell me what you think about the fight and about the possible rematch down below.